Supercross fans are gathering in the southern United States for the first time this season as the world's greatest motorcycle riders are about to make Atlanta's Georgia Dome come to life. For 7 weeks, EA Sports Supercross fans have watched their 250 heroes put on some great racing thrills, and last week was no exception. Fans of LaRocco and Pastrana may have been disappointed as the night ended early for both. But fans for Vuillemin and Carmichael watched the chase for the championship heat up. Now, with 3 wins each, the question is, will David Vuillemin miss any podiums and give Carmichael even a chance to defend his Supercross title? An anticipated 70,000 fans are still filing into the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia, awaiting the 8th round of EA Sports Supercross presented by Speed Stick. Hello, everybody. I'm Art Eckman, along with former champion David Bailey. We're off to the most exciting start in Supercross history, maybe, as Ricky Carmichael, the defending champion with 3 wins, is still 23 points behind David Vuillemin. Vuillemin with 3 wins, but he's made every podium in the previous 7 races. Now, the 3rd contender in the group was erased last week in a controversial crash.
Oh, it's too bad. I feel terrible for Mike LaRocco. This is what happened. He's going to be going down the left side of the whoops right there in front. Travis Pastrana to his right. He's got to run at him for a block pass at the end, which would have worked. Except LaRocco gets a little squirrely, decides to cut to the right to protect that line, contact, and you know, it was a racing incident. A lot of people placing blame on Travis Pastrana, and I understand that since this kid does a backflip into the Grand Canyon. He's going to get blamed for some of these things, but that was just an unfortunate incident.
Well, not only the Travis Pastrana incident, but also it's been a rough week for Team Suzuki. Earlier today in practice, Kevin Windham, number 14, went down hard.
This is at the end of a rhythm section. I watched the whole thing. Kevin had a spectacular line where he was only touching through there once, quadrupling twice through there. The last time into the corner came up a little bit short, rode the nose all the way to the berm, and the bike just hit his leg and snapped his femur.
Let's take a look at the Suzuki storyline for the 250s here tonight. Can David Vuillemin prevent another Carmichael comeback victory string? Will Travis Pastrana turn his fortunes around? And where's McGrath? Can he get his first podium of the season? He's won 5 here in the Georgia Dome. A lot of money at stake here at the halfway point. Davey Combs.
Well, not only is David Vuillemin trying to hold on to the points lead in EA Sports Supercross here at the Georgia Dome, he's also trying to keep his shot going at $500,000. That's what the Vance Triple Crown of Supercross is worth to the rider who wins all 3 of the designated rounds. David won the first round in Anaheim. He's got to keep it going here at the Georgia Dome. One thing working against him, man, this Georgia clay, this is the kind of dirt that Ricky Carmichael grew up on. Now let's go to David with the Speed Stick track map.
Right off the start, there's a long rhythm section that leads up to the first triple right there in red. First, you got the whoops over here like we do every week. But the difference between this track and all the others is there's another rhythm section here and another one here. Those are going to get full of ruts because of this dirt throughout the night, making that very difficult to shoot clean every lap.
Checking out the starting lineups now, we've got Ricky Carmichael, the defending champion. Travis Pastrana, his first full 250 season. Jeremy McGrath, former 7-time champion. Damon Huffman, number 20. He won his lone Supercross right here in Atlanta in 1997. Nicholas Way, top privateer. He does not get factory support or a factory salary. That's number 26 on a Yamaha. As we saw, Huffman, number 20. There's Jeremy McGrath, number 2, alongside Sebastien Tortelli. Looking down that starting gate.
Number 690 right there. Yeah, Kenny Bartram, a friend of Travis Pastrana. They do a lot of freestyle together. And Travis will be right there, just to the inside of that starter box.
Clark Stiles, 53. Number 32, Jason Thomas, was an Ironman 2 years ago, where he would qualify for both 125s and 250s.
Shot of Huffman there, number 20. He won this race on a Kawasaki back, I think, 94, somewhere in there. Got the whole shot, went wire to wire.
97.
Well, at least that was in the 90s.
We're sideways, ready to go for our first qualifying round of 250s from Georgia. Jeremy McGrath to the inside. Here comes Carmichael. 3 abreast. Oh, my goodness. Carmichael takes the lead in the first lap. Jeremy, though, not letting up.
This would be a good opportunity for McGrath to study the kids. Jeremy owned this sport for a decade. Carmichael came along and brought intensity and a new style of riding to it. Now Jeremy can take a look at it up close.
Yeah, we'll Suzuki, 199, Travis Pastrana moving into third around Jason Thomas as we take a look at Ricky Carmichael and Jeremy McGrath. McGrath has really been stepping it up lately. Let's check all the bikes as they come through the whoops. 199, Travis Pastrana, Tortelli number 13. There's Rayner number 17 going by, Huffman number 20. Number 49 slipping a little bit in last place. That's Keith Johnson from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Now you can see Ricky already starting to open up just enough of a gap that he can go into all these corners wide, take the fastest line. He doesn't have to worry about Jeremy being so close that he's got to protect it.
And there's Travis Pastrana, who really went kind of through an emotional difficulty after that meeting with LaRocco.
Well, you can see LaRocco in the footage from last week, and even a little bit in our show so far here, is LaRocco was so upset with him, and Travis is sick. So is Jeremy. Travis is actually throwing up yesterday. Didn't ride one of the practices. Jeremy just got a head cold. Just doesn't feel good.
Earlier, we saw the LaRocco-Pastrana crash from last week. Well, this is what Travis Pastrana's point of view was.
It was a really, really bad situation. LaRocco came in wide and decided not to jump the jump at the end and jump to the inside. I was the only one that was jumping on the inside and making the inside berm, so he didn't expect it, and I didn't expect him to cut over. You know, obviously there's two completely different views, and it got pretty ugly back in the pits, but you know, I had to go home and got regrouped, and I feel 100% this week. I mean, as far as mentally, now I'm a little down physically, but it's all good.
Here it comes, Pastrana working on Jeremy McGrath, comes to the inside, McGrath coming back on Pastrana. Travis Pastrana trying to hold him off for second place as Ricky Carmichael takes away there in first. McGrath wants another piece of it. He wants to get back into second.
Well, he's getting schooled a little bit right here. Look at the line of Travis Pastrana. Unbelievable. He gets a little twirly in the corner at the end, but he went so much faster down the straightaway with that particular timing. He could afford that little mistake and not give up the spot to Jeremy again.
Only the top four qualify directly to the main event. The rest go to the semifinal round. Doesn't matter if you're defending champion or current points leader. You've got to qualify for every main event on the schedule.
Travis just knocking all those tough blocks off the side of the track. And they talk about, is this kid just no brains? Is he just out of control? No, he's aggressive, he's fast, he wants to win. So what if he knocks the hay bale off the side of the track? It doesn't make him crazy. It doesn't make him dangerous. It makes him fast.
Right now it's Carmichael, Pastrana, McGrath, and Sebastien Tortelli in the qualifying position.
Look at this line. Triple over that. He barely made it. This is where his teammate Windham going into that corner broke his femur in practice. He was trying a timing through there that was even more spectacular than what Travis and Ricky are doing out front. It didn't pan out. Jeremy's learning a lot right now. Even though this is third and he's not going to be happy about that, he can learn a little bit from what's going on with Travis. Travis, I think, is going faster than Ricky right now.
Jeremy with only one heat win this year.
See how much different Jeremy approached that whoop section. He came in, he got himself set. Looked like he almost took a deep breath. He can't do that. Travis and Ricky are going into that whoop section like there's no tomorrow.
Travis Pastrana in second place, number 199 on the Sophie Suzuki. Number 2, Jeremy McGrath. McGrath, the most difficult time of his 13 years as a professional Supercross rider. 7 rounds without a win. That equals the longest losing streak at the start of a season for Jeremy. He doesn't want number 8 here in Atlanta. He's had a lot of success here in Atlanta. Second here last year, 5 wins, 94, 96, 98, and 2000.
Travis
98 through 2000, I should say.
The fastest lap on the track, 46 high, and about a half a second faster than what Ricky's turning out front. There's only a couple laps to go. I don't think he's going to have enough time to catch Ricky, but Ricky's going to know when this heat race is over that Travis is faster, and he's sick. Sometimes being sick is a good thing. You focus everything you have on the race instead of the normal routine that can sometimes be termed as a rut. Travis is coming in here with a whole different perspective.
He's had that sinus problem all year.
He may do even better.
Many times athletes who have had the flu or something like in the NBA basketball that I used to cover, and they come out with a slam banging game, because you're right, they focus a little bit harder.
You don't get that luxury week after week, but every now and then you can pull it off.
Tortelli's got his way made here in the final transfer spot, number 4. As you see the yellow or orange button off to the right, Huffman moved up a position, number 20, with the green slate along his number, but that's not going to be enough. As we have the final white flag flying, the final lap underway. And it looks like Carmichael's baby right now. Carmichael just loves this track. He loves the soil. He grew up, of course, in northern Florida. He thought he would have his first 250 win here in Atlanta, as he had his first 125 Supercross professional win ever here in Atlanta. But that didn't come to be. He waited just about a race, I think it was. Daytona?
He had a tough time on a 250 in the beginning, and people are, I think, have already forgotten about how hard it was for him. They just see him. It's so amazing last year, and so far this year is so fast, but for a couple years, man, he had a really tough time, including a foot peg through the skin into his hip bone.
He's the one to beat. Carmichael, the Checkers, in our first qualifying round of the 250s in Atlanta. 199 second. Number 2 is third, McGrath. And we're looking for number 13 on the red bike. That's the final transfer spot. Sebastien Tortelli, injured at the beginning of the season. This will be only his second main event of the year. A relieved Ricky Carmichael, who ran a perfect race, actually.
All is planned. He plans on getting the start. They set that bike up for the start, and he loves this dirt. The more ruts, the softer and stickier, the better.
Checking out the Honda results page, Nicholas Way, the top privateer, or the rider who gets no factory support, came close. He was in 5th, but he'll have to go to the semifinals along with Jason Thomas, Huffman, Isaiah Johnson, and the others. Second qualifying heat coming up from Atlanta, Georgia in just a moment. Welcome back to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia, where we saw some exciting action early in the first qualifying heat with McGrath and the party, but Carmichael just took over things. So let's check a look now, the lineup sheet for our second qualifier. The points leader, David Vuillemin. Roncada, who's really been riding aggressively lately. He's got a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the last 3 races. Hometown boy, Ezra Lusk. Ernesto Fonseca. He's had a good time of it in a couple of races this year. Privateer Voss. Windham was on the entry list, but he is a scratch for this race, of course, with the broken femur. Kyle Lewis, Tyler Evans, Pavoni. And there's our points leader, David Vuillemin.
This guy has been a lot more steady than everybody thought, especially Ricky Carmichael. I think he thought, and Honda thought, Ricky was going to bring his dominance from last year into this season. That went south at the first round. Vuillemin, after that race, had a 24-point lead on Carmichael. Ricky's only been able to make one of those points up since. There's Stephane Roncada, who's been riding very well lately.
That's what one bad race will do for you, David. I mean, one bad race and you're 24 points down, and now he's 23 points back. Ezra Lusk looking at the start now as they're revving up, ready to go. Second qualifying heat underway. Pulling the whole shot. Roncada's right there. Lusk is in 3rd. So they break away cleanly. Oh, Roncada runs plastic with Vuillemin. Aggressive riding.
That was good.
That was a good pass.
That wasn't any kind of weird line like he was doing at Anaheim. That was a good inside, smart move. He caught Vuillemin just sleeping there on the outside. And
battle for second is on right now. Ezra Lusk. He had it for a second, and then Vuillemin came back on him, David.
You let Roncada get out front here in Atlanta, and he just might be gone. This guy is excellent on this soil.
Check out your favorite riders. They come through the whoops. There's Lusk, number 11 of the Kawasaki. Schellenberger, number 659. As we go back to our leader and the second place rider, Ezra Lusk. Hey, look at there. Fonseca. He's testing David Vuillemin for 3rd. Remember, there's only 4 qualifying spots.
Lusk starting to gain on his teammate Roncada just a little bit. Good night so far here for Kawasaki up front. Vuillemin, a little bit uncharacteristic of him. Have some of these clever moves being put to him. He's usually the one making them. Haven't seen him go backwards like that in the series yet.
Interesting thing, though, Vuillemin is not known for winning heat races.
The only times he's done poorly in heat races is because he got a terrible start. But I haven't seen him actually start up front and work his way back. It's only a heat race. You can change that in the main, but it's a sign of perhaps things to come with Lusk pretty much being his hometown race, feeling good, starting to find his rhythm and form a little bit last week. And Roncada riding on that confidence still of a couple of podiums and a strong ride last week. Coming up on the whoop section again. Roncada not as fast through there as usual. Lusk running right up on him.
Stephane Roncada, Ezra Lusk, David Vuillemin, and Ernesto Fonseca right now in the qualifying positions with Tyler Evans, who's riding with a broken collarbone. Here comes Roncada, Lusk going at it. Oh, Ezra Lusk looking back. I got a good feeling for this kid coming back to Georgia.
Roncada tried to jump into that rhythm section a little bit different. He over-jumped it, didn't have the right suspension rebound to clear the next triple, and Lusk was all over it.
His last lap crash last week had Vuillemin wondering if Ezra thought it was his birthday or something. Ezra's fifth place finish equaled his best of the year, a fifth in the opener. Let's go to Davey Combs.
Guys, I'm down here with Roger DeCosta. Roger, I know you guys lost Kevin Windham today. Have you heard anything from the hospital on his condition?
The femur is broken, but it's a clean fracture, and they should be operating on him right now. So everything is going as good as it can go with a broken femur, you know.
How long do you think he'll be out? What's the prognosis?
Somewhere around 4 months, probably.
Tough break.
That's really too bad. But you know what? And Kevin, looking at the way his season has gone so far, he might be able to look at this injury and go, you know what? Now I can just go get my head right, sort out my personal life, get everything all dialed in, so when he comes back, there's no question about whether he's really into this or not.
This might be interesting. Vuillemin now is starting to put some pressure on Roncada. Roncada got a good block pass on Vuillemin to get in front of the Yamaha rider, number 12. There's Lusk, number 11. 21, Roncada. 12, Vuillemin. Vuillemin, he presses it big time. Come back is fair play. Oh, Roncada points to him. We got it going now, baby.
Well, I don't think Vuillemin was too stoked about the way that Roncada was racing against him last week. I didn't see anything wrong with it, really, but I think Vuillemin might be thinking about, you know what, before this guy does anything else to me, I'm going to let him know right now I'm not going to play that.
Twice, Vuillemin has said, I don't race dirty, but you're going to do it to me? That really wasn't dirty, but
I
it's
think
comeback time.
We have to assume from Vuillemin right there, because that was very intentional. He cuts to the inside. He doesn't try to turn. He goes right out there to make contact. Now, Stephane, he's going to come back and want to answer that in the main event. If he gets anywhere near Vuillemin, we better keep our cameras on those guys, because Stephane has told all of us, he's like, I'm not taking any crud from anybody. I'm going to get out there and race aggressive.
Davey Combs is with Don Worley.
Actually, Dan just learned in, and he's getting ready to give the board to Stephane. But I asked him what he thought about that, and he shook his head. He is not too pleased down here in the mechanics area.
Yeah, but I think when you look at the way Vuillemin did that, he's talking, he over and over said, I don't want to race that way. So he must have had a pretty good reason.
Vuillemin in second place. Lusk, Vuillemin, Fonseca, and Roncada is back up in fourth. So he's still in a qualifying position. Heath Voss is on that bubble in fifth with Jean-Sebastien out of Canada, Blackfoot Honda, and James Pavoni. Kyle Lewis looks like they'll have to go to the semifinal round.
Both Lusk and Vuillemin ride through the whoop section a lot faster than Roncada. That's what set up that pass by Vuillemin, or I should say takedown. And usually it's Roncada that's fast through the whoop. He's one of the guys that came up with running through there in fourth gear and making up all his time there, and that's where he's losing it tonight.
White flag lap. Look out for the lappers. Lusk doesn't have all that much of a lead on Vuillemin right now.
He gets through clean. Lappers get out of the way like they should. They know what's going on.
There's your qualifying positions with the yellow arrow. And the final transfer guy, Stephane Roncada, number 21. Doesn't look like he's got the pressure, though, Jean-Sebastien who's moved up into fifth.
See if Lusk can hold off Vuillemin one more time through the whoop. Vuillemin's been getting a good run through the last half of those. Couldn't do it that time, but that that was his greatest opportunity before the checkered flag to get around Lusk. It was not going to happen.
Boy, Lusk looked tough under pressure, didn't he? The checkers for Ezra Lusk, his second heat victory of the year. A good race with Vuillemin. Now it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the main event. Look out. I wonder if they're going to talk to each other in French or English. Stephane Roncada, number 21, in fourth position.
Well, I don't think Roncada's too pleased about that, but I think he's going to go over and get it from Vuillemin, and Vuillemin's going to explain it. I don't think there's... there it is.
I don't think they like each other.
That's apparent. I cannot believe I'm seeing this from David Vuillemin.
I can't either. He's usually so cool.
Well, I brought up...
Now, where's the AMA? They should have been there when those guys came off the track. Come on, guys. You know that these emotions are running high. You've got to get somebody out there in between them when they come off the track.
Roncada's already been warned by the AMA for the not aggressive riding so much. That's fine, but the style of passes. Some of these guys don't like it. Vuillemin obviously really didn't like it. He made his point clear.
At least hopefully they don't take it to the pits like the Pastrana affair. Lusk, Vuillemin, Fonseca, and Roncada on their way to the main event. Kyle Lewis, Pavoni, Olhoff, Voss, and others on the way to the semifinals. Well, all kinds of action, not all of it on the track. And we'll be back to Atlanta, Georgia, at the Georgia Dome right after these words.
David Vuillemin, who captures the checkered flag. David Vuillemin, his second consecutive victory of the season. LaRocco, the checkers.
This is the second round of the Vans Triple Crown here in Atlanta, Georgia. David Vuillemin winning the round one at Anaheim. He needs a win tonight for a chance at $500,000. Should he win the final round of Las Vegas, win all three Vans races, it means $500,000. Even if he loses one of the races, the two remaining, he still could get the consolation prize of $25,000 going to the rider who scores the most points in the Vans three races. Our rider of the week from EA Sports is Georgia's own Ezra Lusk. And recently we visited with this young man about a number of topics. First up, was he disappointed with last season?
No, not at all. I mean, I was out for a whole year in 2000. And coming back last year was somewhat good. I mean, I had a few bad races, but all in all, at the end of the year, I looked back and thought that I made a good return. And it was something to work for next year. When I was really young, I was on the swim team. And I was just a little hairier than all the other kids, I guess. And Yogi Bear was my nickname back then, and Yogi stuck ever since. The adrenaline rush, basically. It's different when you're out practicing by yourself doing it, but when you come out and do it in front of 60,000 people with maybe another rider behind you, or next the guys behind you, it's different. I'm pretty worn out from head to toe. I mean, there's not one particular part of you that's sore. And because you use your legs, your upper body, your arms, and mentally you're physically drained. I just want to go out and represent myself well, and Kawasaki well, and Thor, and just win races,
As we take a look at Ezra Lusk's career numbers for 250s, don't forget he also won a 125 race here in Atlanta in 1994 on way to the 125 East Championship. On our Honda close-up today, former champion Jeff Emig pays a visit to the current champion for a closer look at one of the unique pieces of hardware on Ricky Carmichael's bike, number 4.
All right, now back when I used to ride, I used to like to run my bars level with the ground or even with the forks. But Carmichael, he's got them things way down. Why is that?
Well, Jeff, when I first started, I ran them really high and forward, and just seeing when I got in the 250s and different suspension compared to the 125, I started to roll them back and get them a little lower. It's a little more comfortable for me in the turns, and it seems like the bike's really easy to ride this way.
With most guys, when they run them low like this, their elbows drop. But with you, your elbows seem to stay in the right position.
Yeah, it does. Actually, for me, I would think that if the bars are lower, that your elbows would be easier to keep up, and with them higher, that it would transfer your elbows down. But you know what, I don't know. I just go out there and ride my own style. If my elbows are down, they're down. I'm just trying to win.
The official attendance here at the Georgia Dome, 69,475. Our main event is coming up here at the Georgia Dome. Stay tuned for all the action. We're back in Atlanta, Georgia. The largest crowd ever to see a Supercross in Atlanta. Taking a look at those top 5 guys that came out of the semifinal round to make the 20-rider gate. Don't forget, this is a 20-lap race. Isaiah Johnson, Damon Huffman, a former winner here. Nicholas Way, top privateer. More good privateers coming out of that second one, along with Jeff Gibson, who's qualified for both the 125 and 250s now in 3 consecutive races. The Nissan last chance qualifier, Waugh and Prime, round out the gate. Let's check out the starting gate now, the Suzuki starting grid. As they're lined up at the gate, Ricky Carmichael, the defending champion, the local hero, Lusk. Pastrana, he's been fast in qualifying. Vuillemin, the points leader, 7-time champion McGrath. His first year in 250s, Fonseca. Tortelli, Roncada. At the end of heat number 2, watch what happened.
This was Vuillemin, just a retaliation from the block pass that Roncada put on him in the beginning. It wasn't that bad, but Roncada didn't like it. He rode up to say, hey, what was that for? And Vuillemin goes, hey, I'll tell you what that was for, man. I got 500 grand on the line tonight. I got the title in my hip pocket if I can stay away from you.
How does this affect now things for the 250 main? Does it fire him up even more?
Well,
or does he lose focus?
I've been in that ridiculous situation before, and it messes with your focus. You try to go out there and overcompensate for that. Beyond these guys, I'll tell you what, Vuillemin, he's been able to focus before, but that's got to be on his mind and Roncada's. And RC has been unbelievable in this building all weekend. There he is. But Travis Pastrana has shown me that he's got the speed to beat him. McGrath has won here 5 times, and Ezra got his second heat race win here, and this is his hometown race.
The first rider over the white line, just out of the first turn, wins the $1,500 Powerade Hole Shot Award. Who will get the $1,500? Don't forget, a hole shooter has not won a race this year. We're ready to go for the main event from Atlanta, Georgia. A great start by number 4, Carmichael. Carmichael gets the Powerade Hole Shot Award.
And Pastrana's with him.
Pastrana right there, and David Vuillemin in third. Vuillemin bar to bar, but Pastrana for second.
Vuillemin tried to get in there and put a little bump on Pastrana to get right up into second right away, and it ruined his timing, and then Fonseca slipped in there.
Now the key is Pastrana's been making a few mistakes right there. Can Carmichael pull away and make it a runaway here in Atlanta, like he did in his heat race?
Well, I think Travis is going to try to keep him on it. And Travis is so much faster through the whoops. Oh, my goodness. He just made up 10 bike links right there.
There's Roncada, Waugh, and the rest of the field as they go through the whoop section. Pastrana trying to hold on to Ricky Carmichael, but David Vuillemin back in third. Could this be Vuillemin's 8th straight podium? The 3 are pulling away from Jeremy McGrath.
Lusk angled, looked like maybe on the ground there. That's Fonseca. Yeah, it is, 24, and Jason Thomas, so there goes Lusk's chances. And Fonseca was up into third at one point. Now he's going to have to come from behind. Too bad. Second place last week, and he was in contention here. He had the speed.
Ezra looked so good at qualifying, too.
Vuillemin behind Pastrana right here. There he is. He just went over the triple at the approach of this whoop section to look behind him, and it's a huge gap back to McGrath.
Is he playing it cool? Like a last lap pass, maybe? We've seen already this year. Vuillemin's in great shape.
He's in great shape as far as where he sits on the racetrack. He's got a big gap, like I said, back to fourth. Doesn't have to worry about pressure, but what he's got to worry about is how fast Carmichael and Travis are going. If he wants that Vans Triple Crown $500,000, he's got to get on it now. For the championship points, he really needs to get up there and not let Ricky chip 5 more off of it.
Also, it's the Clear Channel mid-season points fund of $100,000. I believe $15,000 goes to the rider who's #1 in points at the halfway mark, and that's at the end of this race. So Vuillemin, a lot of money on the line for him as we take a look at the fourth-place rider, Jeremy McGrath. Could this be his best finish of the year? His best so far is a 6th. Tortelli, number 13. Roncada, number 21.
Tortelli, since his return, has been getting great starts. And all of his heat races, the preliminary qualifiers, he's been hole-shotting. The second main here, he's running up front again.
You're absolutely right about Vuillemin. He's now dropped to 5.5 seconds behind the leader, Carmichael.
This is not a disaster in terms of the championship, but it is 5 points. And that'll get it down underneath 20, and then Vuillemin might have to start racing a little bit different, worrying about not losing this title instead of doing what's worked so well for him. Even if he just stays where he's at and he's got no pressure, it doesn't look like he's going to get any either. He'll keep that streak, that podium alive, but 5 points is 5 points. Ricky knows that's all he needs to pick up in the next 4 or 5 rounds, and this is the battle.
Vuillemin, it appeared to me, David, you might correct me on this, will race for the win if he's in good position, but he goes for the podium otherwise.
Well, he's not out of this by any means. He's staying pretty close to these guys, but he's going to wait till about halfway and see what happens. Get into the lap riders, the track gets more rutted, the lines change, and that's when he gets good.
Ricky Carmichael through the whoops, coming right at you. And he's getting a bigger lead on Travis Pastrana. Travis Pastrana really having trouble working out during the week. There's no question about that. He's got a sinus problem now.
Oh, Ricky just about went down. We've seen that so many times, and that's a sign that he's pushing hard. He got in there and just tried to make that corner. And he was actually riding above the ability of the motorcycle. That shows you how hard he's pushing it. Travis is close enough to take advantage of one of those should Ricky go down.
Carmichael has posted 4 podiums in 4 races, including 3 wins, while leading 46 of the 89 laps in those 4 races. Here's Pastrana.
He's still in this, but I think he might be losing just inches on Ricky and losing a little bit of time to Vuillemin now. So Vuillemin might become more of a problem for Pastrana, but I think right now, with as sick as he is, he'd be happy to finish on the podium, Art, especially after the way last week went.
He's already got 2 second-place finishes along with a 3rd. Let's go to Davey down the trackside.
Guys, let me give you an indication of how bad Travis felt earlier today. For the first time that I can remember, he did not do an autograph session. Travis, always a fan favorite. Also, when they did the opening ceremonies, he did not participate in the parade lap. His mom said he was trying to save every ounce of energy that he had for this 20-lap main event.
Ian Harrison. Let's listen to Suzuki Radio.
Tortelli. Not behind us, Jim. Not behind us. Got to have to think ahead, please. Give me a split to Tortelli. I got David.
9:49.9. 3.3 to Tortelli.
Travis goes off the track.
Travis is off the track, and he's riding.
You know what? I think he has taken himself out of this event. I saw him starting to look a little shaky. I think he has taken himself out of this race before he becomes a danger to himself or, more importantly, others.
Well, that's probably a good decision since he's not contending for a title. Come back strong. As the Suzuki crew runs to see what the problem is, Ricky Carmichael is way out in front right now, with David Vuillemin now in 2nd place. Jeremy McGrath is in 3rd. Can they hold on to that position? We'll be right back to Atlanta, Georgia, right after these important words. Ricky Carmichael has dominated this race from the very start.
The only rider that had the speed to challenge him was Travis Pastrana, and he just exited the course.
He's coming up on the lapper, number 247, Tyler Evans, out of Canyon Lake, California, on the Husqvarna, passed by Ferracci.
Ricky over that little rhythm section triples out in the air, pulls 2 tearaways. Looked like at least one. It took him 2 tries to get it. It's not in the air for very long. That's a tricky section full of ruts. Ricky not afraid to land with one hand on the bar.
Vuillemin a faster lap time in the last lap than Ricky Carmichael. He's trying to catch up. There in second place. Boy, would that be something if we could get a 1-against-1 duel for the win here in Atlanta.
A 6-second lead is pretty tough to make up at this point in the race, but it's only halfway. There's still time. You can see Vuillemin look over at Ricky coming the other way through the whoop section. Vuillemin is mad. I think everyone can see that. He wants that $500,000. It's got to be on his mind.
Yeah, when James Stewart, when you ask James Stewart off mic, you know, would you be thinking of it? What'd he say?
He's going to shoot you out for $500,000. If you're not thinking about it, you ain't right.
You ain't right. That's exactly what he said. David Vuillemin in second place now, trying to catch up on the very fast and dominant Ricky Carmichael. Carmichael just trying to get back within shooting range of David Vuillemin in the points race to defend his title.
The best thing Vuillemin can do right here is just continue to ride as fast as he can, keep jumping everything, no major mistakes, and just be there. You know, force Ricky's mechanic, Chad Voss, to be keeping tabs on Vuillemin, maybe not letting Ricky know about it, but at least be a little bit concerned about the guys still being back there. Force Ricky to ride a perfect race. It's only 3 points now in terms of the championship. It looks like if he can't hang on to it, that Van Triple Crown money's gone, but I think the title is probably more important. Jeremy doing a good job here.
Don't forget, you can hear these races live on the webcast, ESPN.com.
Jeremy actually has a shot at catching Vuillemin.
Wouldn't that be something?
I think he's starting to feel good, and you can see a little bit of spunk in his cornering, the way he's jumping through the sections. Look at how rutted that is. Just unbelievable. When you get to see that view of what the riders are seeing through those loops, I'm glad I'm up here, Art. Those things are bad enough without a rudder.
Great shot. Yes, you could just see how dangerous those whoops were and why things happen like they do. Let's go to Davey.
I tried to run out and find out exactly what happened to Travis Pastrana. He went right by me. He looked awful. I talked to one of the Suzuki guys. I think this is the same situation we had at the 125 National in Millville last year, where he just didn't feel like he could go 100%. So Travis decided to pull out that flu bug, DNF'd him tonight.
Well, when I heard that he didn't go to the autograph session, I knew it had to be serious. And I don't mean that joking around. That's Travis. I mean, the only way you can get Travis out of this building after the race is because the security guard comes up and goes, hey, look, we got to turn off the lights now. We got to lock the door to the stadium. You have to go home. He's the last guy to leave the stadium all the time. He loves doing that. And it takes a lot to make him walk away and avoid signing autographs and being with the people.
So Ricky Carmichael with those low handlebars just continues to rip away as we take a look now at the top privateer this year, number 26, Nick Way. Way didn't have a ride in the last few minutes of the off-season, and he's in a hot race for the top privateer in points. Now, a privateer means you don't get factory support. You don't have a factory salary. You got to take it out of your own paycheck or your parents or somebody else's. You're out there fighting for sponsorships every week. And Way and Voss in that hot battle, it means a lot. It could be worth $25,000 in the Clear Channel Privateer bonus fund as well. Nick Way has won over $7,000 in making the main events as a privateer. So congratulations to these guys. Lewis, Waugh, Voss, and Way. 3 of the 4 have made every main event this year. And as injuries pile up like Windham's today, more privateers will get into the field.
And look who Carmichael is about to lap. Ezra Lusk. Carmichael won his heat. Ezra Lusk won his. Had a chance here to get up front. I didn't think he was quite fast enough to challenge Ricky, but definitely good enough for a podium. And that crash on the first lap took him out of the race.
Less than 5 laps to go for number 4 on the Team Honda, Ricky Carmichael. Check out the leaderboard here in Atlanta, Georgia. Vuillemin in second. He would lose 3 points to Carmichael if it finishes this way. But McGrath is headed toward his first podium. We'll be right back to Atlanta's Georgia Dome in a moment. In Atlanta, Georgia, where Ricky Carmichael is dominating this 250 main event. He considers this his home track, I think, more than any other.
And he's about to lap Nick Way. That means he's lapped up to 9th. Chad Wobb's giving him the board. Probably just a big smiley face on there. What else can he put on there? That's 2 wins in a row now, chipping away a few more points off Vuillemin's lead, so it'll be 20 when they leave here.
If Vuillemin stays away from mistakes, that means 8 straight podiums. And here's number 2, Jeremy McGrath, in his 102nd consecutive start, is looking for his first podium finish of the year. You know, this guy's only missed 1 round since 1993, and that's when he sat out Vegas because the lights went out.
Well, he and quite a few others, so he'll get that. We'll give it to him, that award of consecutive races. It's been amazing that he's, you know, there's a new style of riding. And it's a lot more aggressive, a lot more intense. You got to take more chances. And Jeremy's just not willing to do that. And that's why he can ride for so long and have a line going 2 times around the pit area from people that want to see the guy. He's been there for so long.
Let's face it, too.
They're not quite ready, I don't think, the fans, to just give up on Jeremy McGrath and embrace Carmichael. And I think that might be part of the reason for some of the crazy receptions he's been getting throughout the season.
Something's been tickling my brain for several weeks now. If something happens to Jeremy McGrath, Bud Light doesn't get to the gate, the whole team goes down the tubes. Don't you think he might have been a little conservative, just keeping that bike on the grid?
Well, there's a lot on his shoulders, but you know, I was very much privy to what Jeremy did to get himself into better shape. Here's a guy that's got 7 championships, 72 wins, and he decided, you know what, I want to step it up. And so when I saw him do it and go through that transformation, the same way Ricky did the year before, I thought, way to go, and I wanted to see him do well. When he wasn't, I was kind of disappointed. But now I look at Jeremy and just go, you know what? This guy's incredible. Bud Light made a great choice by picking him up. He's the most popular rider in the pits. I think they're giving away free beer over there. So get a ticket and go see Jeremy ride before it's too late.
Checking out the Honda stopwatch now, the differences between Carmichael and David Vuillemin in the last lap.
Vuillemin is doing the smart thing. He's not going to catch Ricky. He's not going to lose it to Jeremy so long as he just rides steady.
All he can hope for now is to put himself in good position for the most points in the 3 Triple Crown, Vans Triple Crown, because he ain't going to win the $500,000.
Well, you know, the consolation prize there is, I think, 25 grand. That's nice. That's a car. Not that he needs one. These guys get everything free anyway. One more lap.
Final lap of our 20-lap main event from Atlanta, Georgia, and it's been a breeze for number 4, Ricky Carmichael, who's starting another win streak. He won Phoenix and Anaheim 3. Then Vuillemin came back for an important win. He won the last week in Minneapolis and is putting another one back-to-back here in Atlanta.
Now, he keeps on winning like this, Art, and grabs another title, wins outdoors again. It won't be long before people give him the same kind of appreciation and embrace him the same way they have Jeremy. But Jeremy's been at this for a long time. It was tough for people to give up on Dale Earnhardt when Jeff Gordon came into the picture. And I was talking to a friend of mine, he goes, you know, Carmichael's a lot like Jeff Gordon when he came in and started beating Earnhardt. It'll be a while before people warm up to him, but they will.
Celebrating number 4, looking at the checkered flag, his 19th career victory, his 4th of the year, Ricky Carmichael. He's now tied with Damon Bradshaw for 5th on the all-time 250 Supercross win list. Second, number 12, Vuillemin. And third, McGrath's first podium since round 16, May 5th, last year, where he was second in Las Vegas. So a big anvil is lifted from Jeremy McGrath, who gets his first podium of the year. And Ricky Carmichael is back on track as he picks up 3 more points on David Vuillemin. Checking out the Honda results page. Carmichael, Vuillemin, McGrath on the podium. That'll be a great podium. I can hardly wait. Tortelli, Roncada in 5th. Voss, the top privateer, all the way up into 6th. Former Atlanta winner David Huffman in 7th. We'll be right back to hear words of wisdom from these riders right after this. This is the ATVs and scooters. Before the largest Supercross crowd in Atlanta history, Ricky Carmichael dominates. He's with our Davey Coombs.
Well, Ricky, it looks like you got yourself another little winning streak started, 2 in a row, and what a dominating performance.
Well, I'll tell you, Davey, I'd like to think so. The Honda was working good. The dumb-up tires were hooking up, man. I don't know, something was just clicking for me today. I don't know if this, being in this dome, I really like it, but, man, I am so happy. You know, I need to keep winning, and I'll be glad to go to Daytona with 2 wins under my belt, definitely.
Fantastic ride, Rick.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
On the Honda point standings, Ricky Carmichael whittles a little more away from Vuillemin's points lead. It's down to 20 points right now. Vuillemin is 8th podium in 8 races. And David Vuillemin and Jeremy McGrath with David.
Well, David, once again, you finished 2nd. A very good ride, but Carmichael got just a few more points on you.
Yeah, Ricky rode a great race, and he got our shot. And, you know, I think it was a little bit faster tonight. And, you know, to save a second place for me tonight is very good. And no championship is still very long, and I think it's going to be very tough for the nerves. And, you know, I'm ready for it. So I just need to be in front of Ricky a few more times.
Very nice ride tonight. And Jeremy, welcome back to the podium. It's good to have you on the box again.
It's been a long drought. Thanks a lot, Davey. It's first of all, I'd like to thank my team. Bud Light Yamaha has really been behind me. My mom, my dad, my sister, my trainer Todd, Larry especially, Brian, Skip, everyone at Team Yamaha. You know, they've been behind me, and I've had a rough couple months here, and I'm very happy to be up here.
Always a pleasure to have you up here, Jeremy.
Thanks a lot, Davey.
The beat goes on. RC provides us with a dramatic comeback for the second half of the season. Our next telecast coming to you from the Superdome in New Orleans. Both the 125s and the 250s. Coming up next, it'll be the 125s from the Georgia Dome. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs, thanking you for joining us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, tune in to ESPN.com.